Fame is wonderful. It opens many doors and opportunities, no matter what industry you're in. If you want to change the world, see what Greta Thunberg did for climate change, or Brianna Day and Teenagers for Equality did for Black Lives Matter. Fame is also destructive. It steals your privacy and freedom. And the more successful and famous you are, the more negative comments and rumors will be attracted to you. So why do we care what others think of us? It's a human biological survival instinct where we need to be accepted by the community or the tribe. We couldn't survive harsh winters or face wild animals on our own. Now, it's not about survival, but we care what our family and friends think about us. The problem is when we care about the social validation and approval from the community at large or from the millions of strangers online. Social media has made it easy for haters to post negative comments, and that can be very devastating. So I started my media journey when I was a giggly teenager. I was full of optimism and hope. But as I got more famous, people started telling me about other people saying bad things about me. It was untrue and very, very hurtful. And I just couldn't understand why people would say such mean things and make it up. Then a few years later, I read about the story of renowned Zen master Hakuwen Ikaku. A beautiful young Japanese girl and her family lived near Hakuwen. One day, her parents discovered that she was pregnant. They were furious and demanded to know who the father was. The girl did not want to say, but finally, she told them it was Hakuwen. With great anger, they marched over to the master and confronted him. All that he would say was, "Is that so?" Well, from being a revered master, he was shunned and ostracized. A few months later, the child was born and the parents brought the baby to Hakuwen and said, "You should take care of it." And he took very good care of the child. Now, a year later, the girl couldn't bear it anymore. Her conscience made her confess to her parents that the real father was actually the young man who worked at the fish market. Her parents rushed over to Hakuwen, told him what had happened, apologized, and asked for his forgiveness. The only thing that Hakuwen would say was, "Is that so?" Now, I remember being very confused why he wouldn't tell the parents that the girl was lying. I couldn't figure out how he could stay so calm when he was being wrongly misjudged. So that story stayed in my mind for many years. And over my own experiences, working with celebrities, interviewing celebrities, and then managing celebrities, I observed them and how different people reacted to adversity and to bad publicity. And then I understood. Hakuwen didn't rely on others to tell him who he was. Whether they revered him or they shunned him, he remained constant. He kept his peace, and the only thing that he would say was, "Is that so?" Now I realized that no matter what I do, I can't change what people think or say about me. But I can always control what I think and say about myself. And when my sense of self is strong, I am less affected by what others say. So how do we get this strong sense of self? Well, we have to go back to square one. And square one is you, your core, your foundation, who you are, and the person that you want to be. This sense of self, some call it self-esteem, some call it self-acceptance. It comes from your internal recognition. Sometimes people confuse it with self-confidence. It's a different thing. You get confidence when you're good at something and you get external recognition. For example, they say, "Oh, she's good at maths. He's a talented singer." Or "She's a great sports person." Yes, we feel good when people acknowledge our strengths and we feel confident about ourselves. And sometimes that confidence is translated to other skills or in other situations. But sometimes it's not. When it doesn't get transferred, that's when people start to feel shaky. For example, someone could be very confident on the basketball court, but when they go to a party, they have no confidence. Or when they meet someone new, they have no confidence. I see that quite often with adults. Developing that strong sense of self is a lifelong process. And like financial investment, the younger you start, the more prepared you are for the future. So I started 3 habits to build strong internal validation muscles. First, know what your values are and align your actions with it. Well, how do you know what your values are? It's experiences that you had as a child when you had a strong feeling from watching someone express a value that resonated with you. I remember my Uncle Vivian, when he visited, I felt so happy because his booming voice and his positive energy just lifted everyone in the room. Now, I aim to speak and behave with positivity. A friend of mine, she said when she was 7 years old, she saw a lady throw a tantrum in the shopping mall. She thought it was horrible and she never wanted to be like that. So for her, being calm, having self-control, those are her core values. And she's never lost a temper in any situation, even if it's stressful. It could be experiences. I grew up very sickly as a child. I was always falling ill. So now, health is a core value for me. I eat well, I take lots of vitamins, I read up on wellness, and I exercise regularly. You could also look at a list of values and see which one strongly resonates with you. Now here's the thing. You will see a lot of values that you like and agree with, but we usually have 5 to 10 core values, and this is your essence, and it stays with you for life. So the litmus test to know that's a core value for you, if someone offered you $1 million to drop that core value and behave in an opposite manner, would you do it? If you could, that's not your core value. Or during stressful situations, or when it's convenient, you would not hold on to that value, and you're comfortable letting it go, then that's not a core value for you. Over time and with experience, you will get to know what your core values are, and the more constantly you align your actions with your core values, the stronger your internal validation muscles get. Second, stop negative self-talk. I often hear people say things like, I'm so forgetful, or I could never do that. No, I'm not good at that. I'm so old. I'm so fat. This negative talk, you're putting yourself down, and when you keep letting these looping thoughts go on your head, and they become words that you verbalize, it then affects your self-image. Now you're precious. You don't want people to say bad things about you and put you down, so don't do that to yourself. At the same time, stop negative talk about others. People who spread rumors and gossip about others are only reflecting their own insecurities. Third, indulge often in acts of self-care. Now these are the little things that you do to make yourself feel good, happy, blissful, at peace, calm, joyful. It could be going for a run, walking barefoot on the beach, planting some seeds, playing with a pet dog, putting on a face mask, going for a spa day, watching a comedy and just giggling like crazy. Take responsibility to do things that make you feel good about yourself. Don't expect someone else to do it for you. When you keep practicing these 3 habits and you build strong internal validation muscles, you no longer allow other people to determine how you feel about yourself. That power belongs to you.